Hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope your day is finding you good while you're watching this video. I was just going to make a more of an unfiltered style of video. Not normally my style, but after what I saw yesterday, last night, right before going to sleep, I was like, I want to make a video about this since I feel like Fat Shark and the mod team on the r/Darktide subreddit might actually try to silence this in the future. Now, supposedly, um, in some form or capacity earlier at some point, they released these skins in a file of the game, and somebody found these and they posted a leak of all these skins, and it got deleted, the original post. And you can see there's roughly around 2 to 3 um, sets of skins for each class, like the Psyker, the Veteran, the Zealot, the Ogryn. And looking at this here, this is a real big slap in the face. Now, I understand there's no correlation between the art team and the dev team who are trying to like do bug fixes and stuff like this, but the game's been out for a month and we still don't have crafting, right? Like, it's very annoying that we don't have crafting. Like, you can't re-bless your weapons. And in a setting where, or in a style of game where it's a co-op action shooter, or hack and slash, I should say, where loot is the big appeal of the game, where you want to get that epic weapon and play a certain way. Like, for example, there was a post on, let me see if I can find it while talking. There was a post on the subreddit where this dude was playing for 250 hours as the Psyker, and he still doesn't have the deflector post, or sorry, the deflector blessing on his force sword. And if you're not sure what that is, it's basically the force sword is a Psyker specific weapon, and with the deflector blessing, it allows you to deflect. Here you go. It allows you to deflect range attacks and melee attacks. It just makes you like, it's like a force field that you can put in front of your hand. It's really cool. But he's played for 260 hours and he still hasn't gotten it. And I've only played a fraction this time and I'm actually frustrated about it. But I hope he gets it soon. In terms of the skins here, the original post was deleted. Now, for whatever reason, there's a no leak rule. Yes, no discussion of exploits, hacks, piracy, or leaks. Now, I don't understand why this rule exists. I never realized it in the first place. It says here, with closed tests, many of them fall under non-disclosure agreements, therefore posts on supposed leaks or undisclosed contents are not allowed. Well, to reiterate this, Darktide's not under NDA, right? As a content creator that's partnered with a Fat Shark, I can make content about Darktide, right? The game's not in a closed test. The game's fully released out on public. You can buy the game. But let's see what one of these mods said about this. And honestly, reading this kind of rubs me the wrong way. Let's get started. Hey everyone, we didn't even delete the original post. It was caught by our auto mod. I wonder how this is even the case, because unless you put maybe leak in your title, maybe that's what happened. However, that was fair anyways, because submitting leaks is against our rules. Again, as I just described it, very bullshit rule. We'll compromise with the community and leave this one up. We know how frustrated many of you have been. We play the game too and we have to deal with these questionable things. Now, here's the thing. You're not saints for leaving this up. This should have been up the first time, right? People should be allowed to criticize things because we paid for this, right? I got the game for free, so thankfully I didn't waste money on this, but there's been people who've spent, 75 Canadian or however much it is in American. I think it's like 50 American or something. But when you buy a product and you don't get what you're told, you're allowed to criticize it, right? You're allowed to make posts about how something frustrates you, or there's a lack of things that were promised. Like, for example, where are these skins? These skins right here. I know that the Zealot and the Psyker has these skins are in game, but this helmet has been in the trailer about Darktide for perpetually several months now, and it's not in the game. The version that we had doesn't have the goggles, and a lot of people want the one with the goggles because it looks cool. This Ogryn armor, for example, doesn't exist in the game, and that was a part of the trailer. The Zealot, there's this promotional art. I can't find it, but the Zealot's supposed to have this like backpack that's just a book. This giant ass book. The Psyker's supposed to have this helmet that is like this cool visor that covers the eyes. It's not in the game. Now, moving on, the mod team are not monsters trying to censor everything. We've also allowed so many posts on the front page criticizing the game and the devs, and by allow, I mean we actually manually approve many of these posts because they get reported constantly. First of all, there's nothing wrong with criticizing the devs. There's nothing wrong with criticizing the game, as long as you're not harassing the devs, right? They're people too. No, I think a very small, super small fraction of the community are doing that, and that's like, that doesn't represent the whole community, of course. But I don't know why these guys are trying to act like they're saints, saying that we approve these posts. And they're not trying to censor everything. Does that mean that they've censored some things? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they mean by this. And we've allowed so many posts on the front page. Well, it doesn't matter whether or not you allow it or not. People should be allowed to do this. They bought the game. They didn't get what they were promised. Like, I'm pretty sure in SkillUp's review, I think it was SkillUp, they actively try to push that there was going to be a story in the game. What story? The characters just talk to each other, and they talk about the setting in 40k, like the Citrix Maledictum and what happened in Cadia. God, Lord knows that if I have to hear about people talk about Cadia one more time, it is so goddamn annoying. Anyways, moving on. This last segment here talks about how they're going to be enforcing the leaking rule. Again, very bullshit here. Leaks are not always official content. They're usually obtained through unethical means. Leaks are not always official content. Listen, this does not make sense. Who wrote this? This is official content right here. You think someone went through Photoshop and made all these skins themselves? No, this was made by the art team. Now I understand that the art team and the dev team are two different teams, and it's not like the art team focuses on fixing the game, but it's still a slap in the face when we don't have crafting and this exists. Essentially, there's literally premium cosmetics worth hundreds of dollars that were in the game before it shipped without like basic quality of life crafting features. Like, for example, there is this penance, like penances or challenges that you do in game, and some of them give you rewards like skins and stuff like that. One of the penances is complete 7 different mission types on Malice and Heresy, for example. Well, there's no active way to tell what missions you've done and which missions you haven't. You just have to keep on playing every single mission and hope that you get all 7 of them. And it absolutely does not help that they went for this mind-boggling style of like mission maker where you can't even pick the missions you want. It is so annoying. I don't understand why they did that. Like, allow us to pick the difficulty, allow us to pick what mission we want, allow us to choose what modifier we want, allow us to choose if we want scripts or grimoires on the map. And they've taken things from Vermintide 2 like grimoires and they butchered them. Like, for example, grimoires now, if you pick them up, actively deteriorate your health more and more the longer the game goes on. Well, why would you even pick them up? Like, if you pick them up, right, if you pick up both, you're going to lose the majority of your health. The rewards don't actively represent the risk that you take. So on Malice, for example, why would you risk 7,000 XP to gain 2,000? Why would you sabotage your run? Like, when I go into a mission and it's grimoires, I toss the grimoires because I don't want my team to sabotage my run. I'm not going to waste 20 minutes just so that way we can get an extra 2k. It doesn't make sense. Now, this person here just essentially talks about how there's nothing wrong or unlawful about going into your PC and checking the content that's there. Essentially, it was in the game files. And honestly, if Fat Shark wanted to hide it, they shouldn't have pushed it out in a public directly to the public in accessible fashion. This person raises up a very, very good point about this. Yeah, and this person talks about how Darktide's no longer under closed testing and NDA, so you're allowed to criticize it and post leaks. And you've allowed criticism. How kind of you. A Reddit moderator to allow community voice criticism about the game that's about the game's subreddit. And I do not want game companies actively, how do I put it, having their hand in subreddits, because there's gonna be bias, of course. But yeah, this is just gonna be the video here. These are the skins. I'll just have a quick glance over them. You can obviously tell these ones are for the Psyker. But here's the funny thing. Another person raised this point out. This green, like olive green that you see here, is like the staple color of like the Cadian look, and it's like the staple look that the guardsmen have that's set out in 40K. And this is gonna be a paid cosmetic. Just let that sink in. Like the most used style of look for guardsmen is gonna be a paid cosmetic. Of course, we have some cooler skins here. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Navigator one. This looks really cool. This Guardsman one looks nice as well. This is what I also don't understand. They recently sold this headpiece. I know it's hard to see, but they recently sold this headpiece as like a single item, so I don't know why it's gonna be in a pack. Some of these Ogre ones look really cool, but I'm pretty sure this one's already in the game. I'm not sure though. But yeah, these are some of the paid skins, and honestly, huge slap in the face. Like, maybe if they came out and said, hey, half of these are going to be earnable, knock yourselves out, here's like some penances to go along with it, sure, I would be happy. But this is easily hundreds of dollars worth of skins in a game that doesn't have crafting, doesn't have basic quality of life stuff where you can can't even pick your own missions. You have to log on to the map, or you have to log on to the game every hour to check if the weapon that you want's in the store. It's just very, very dumb decisions that were made along the development of this game. But my rant's over. I hope you get the weapon that you want and the blessing that you want, especially to that guy that's played for 260 hours. Best of luck to you. See ya.